one of our listeners wrote in and said she just got tested. Yes, good job. And she wants to share it with her partner, but which is even better.
That was the bad cabbage patch. Right
it
there.
was really
I
bad.
don't want to have a lot of room for the cat. I'm afraid I'm going to hit you in the boob.
She'd like help normalizing. Could you talk to a partner and help it seem normal to talk about STI testing, which isn't in our society. A lot of people don't get tested. I have a conversation with people when I'm going out on dates with them, and most of them are like, oh, I never get tested. I don't need to get tested. And I'm like, I think everybody should get tested.
Yeah. I'm big on protesting. Okay, so first, if you...
You're big
on protesting? I pay professionals to test me. I'm
Reid
very
Malco
protesting.
Reid about sex.com.
Reid Malco from readaboutsex.com. I know what I'm talking about.
He protests often.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, protest. No. Yes to testing.
I'm Cathy from the intimacydojo.com.
So, I'm very pro testing.
Yes.
And for those of you who are watching this who've never been tested or haven't been tested in a while, please don't beat yourself up for this. Yeah. This isn't about shaming you for not getting tested. My personal belief is that people should get tested twice a year. If you're super sexually active, I get tested 3 or 4 times a year for a couple of different reasons, but mostly, I just want to be up on what's going on, and I'm role modeling for my friends and community that it's okay to get tested a lot if you want to. I post my testing results on Facebook. You do not have to try to normalize it for your loved ones by posting things on Facebook and tagging them in it. Okay? So what I would do is ideally have a conversation about, hey, I'm going to go get tested and I'm a little nervous, 1, about getting tested, and 2, like, how would you like me to talk to you about it?
Yeah.
Doing things before you do that, like talking about things before you do them, can start to soften the blow. Where other people, it just comes as a surprise.
Out of context, it's like, why were you concerned? What was going on?
Yeah, I'm not diseased, or like whatever that is,
Yeah.
right? So the difficult conversation formula is a really great way to, like, here's something I want to talk to you about. I'm scared about this, and this. Here's what I'd like to have happen. Here's the thing I need to tell you. That works for when you're nervous ahead of time. It also works if you've been tested and you want to initiate the conversation with your partner. Okay, so it's like, Cathy, there's something I'm afraid to tell you about. I'm worried that you're going to think weird things about me.
I do often.
Well, that's true. I'm afraid that you're going to, not be my friend anymore. I'm afraid you're going to embarrass me publicly or something like that, which sometimes you do. What I'd like to have happen is for you to know that I try to stay on top of things that I think are important for myself, and that I'll always share with you, the truth and whatever new news I need to share with you. What I haven't told you is I got tested recently, and I would love to share with you my STD results. May I? And so then you kind of use the difficult conversation formula to set the context, and it doesn't surprise your loved one if the person who wrote the question is actually watching. Hopefully you haven't surprised them.
Yes.
And then they think something's wrong, or that you got tested because you don't trust them.
Yes.
Okay? And so those are just things that you would list in your conversation. And I'm afraid that by having this conversation with you, you don't think I'm trusting you, or you just drop that stuff in. Helps them create context.
Yeah. And
then you normalize it. Also, another way to normalize it is invite your loved ones to come get tested with you.
It's surprisingly easy, and the first time I got tested, it was decades ago, but I was so nervous and ashamed. And it was just, they drew some blood, I peed in a cup, we were done. It was, there wasn't a big deal. And I think when people start being exposed to that, and I also share with some of my closer friends that, hey, I'm going to get tested, and they're like, oh, I've never been tested. Some of them have said that. And just them hearing about it starts getting them more curious. Like, oh, should I get tested? And
I've had friends call me up and be like, I'm scared to go get tested. Will you go with me?
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely. Because that's something I'm really passionate about. That doesn't have to be your area of activism. And please get tested regularly. Even if you're in a monogamous relationship, if you're somebody with a vulva, you still need to get a pap smear. So everyone get tested regularly, at least twice a year, I think. If you're in a monogamous relationship with somebody and you think everything's fine, then you can go once a year. If you're somebody who's super promiscuous like I am, I'd say every 3 to 4 months.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the question. We really appreciate it. We love talking about this topic because that helps normalize it for everybody else.
Yeah, post this, share this video on Facebook, tweet it, put it in your social media, like it on YouTube, things like that. And also for those of you who need to find a clinic, go to readaboutsex.com/elevator, and you'll find a page about the Safer Sex Elevator speech. And there's some places that you can put in your zip code, and the CDC will help you figure out where there are clinics in your neck of the woods that you can get tested for free.
Thanks so much.
Bye.